Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here. We're back after. It's been almost I actually don't think it's been a month because I did the patch for 7.38b, but I didn't get to do 7.38c, and I'm sorry, guys. I trust me. I'm not giving up on Dota. This channel's not dying. I plan on posting every single day. I really am literally gonna try to do every single day until I leave again, until I qualify to another event. But yeah, I was just in Romania. I was working boot camping at a LAN cafe. And didn't really have opportunities to record. I'm just being real. I just didn't. And so yeah, we're back. I'm home. I just took a shower. My hair's all fucked up a bit. But let's talk about the top 2 heroes for each role. It's funny, you know, now with one of the recent Dota changes, there is no Dota 2 Pro Tracker, and it's actually much harder to track builds from pros. Very difficult. So yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys up to date on that stuff. Obviously, I'm constantly pubbing against the pros, so I'm gonna be able to do replay analysis of their games. As I'm frequently in games with them and my own games and stuff like that. So I have a lot of content planned for the channel. I am back. I missed you guys. I actually very much missed making videos. I thought about it constantly. But yeah, let's get into the top 2 heroes for each role. On top of that, go sign up to the Game League website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. Okay, so getting into the carries, we have Wraith King. So Wraith King is a hero that I actually didn't think would be as good this patch. I kind of misread the patch. So what they changed about him is they removed his level 10 talent for Bone Guard. And right then and there, I was like, okay, the hero is dead, sort of. But I misread it. So they got rid of the 10 talent where you would get Bone Guard duration and Bone Guard cooldown improvement. And this was fantastic. It was something they re-added like a patch ago. And I'm like, wow, this hero's really back. What they did, though, is they made the cooldown of the ability 42 instead of 50 and the duration 46 instead of 40. So they just made the 10 talent part of the ability. And this is huge because now at level 7, I mean, obviously at all levels, which is massive, but especially at level 7, you just have these way better skeletons. But it truly does impact every single level. And this as is just makes the hero insane. Bone Guard Wraith King is probably the best strategy in the game for average pubs. And I can say that reasonably confidently because Wraith King tends to just be the best hero, one of the best heroes with like Abaddon and Medusa and Spectre, like these types of heroes. The very tanky, easy to play guys tend to be some of the best. And I actually think Wraith King is so good right now due to these changes, that he might start popping up in the pro scene and pro pubs. I do believe the hero has a lot of potential because these skeletons are just incredible. Low cooldown, higher duration, and most importantly, it just lets you farm without having to show your hero. This is like one of the most important concepts of Dota. And funny enough, Wraith King does it unintentionally for people. And so, yeah, it pushes waves. It's a better laner now by a lot. So yeah, a lot of potential in this hero. In terms of items and what I recommend buying there, it's going to be a carry hero. I think there's 2 different routes I would recommend. It's going to be like, you know, Bracer, Phase Boots, Wand, into a Blade Mail, and you're going to try to play active very early on, maxing your W. Some people only put 3 points on the W. That's fine. Personally, I'm a believer in maxing the W. And then after that, there's actually a lot of different variants you can go. First of all, you can go the Blade Mail and you can get active. If you go Blade Mail, I recommend maxing your stun second. The reason why is just so you can stick on top of people. You want to be able to force the issue when you have Blade Mail. Also, they buffed the stun cooldown, which is also massive. This hero not only has a better W, it has a better Q. And the other build is just rushing a Radiance, which is totally fine, guys, right? Just, you know, get your Bracer, get your Face Boots, your Wand, and then just buy a Radiance. After Radiance, you can buy a Blink, right? Just be an Initiator. After Blink, you can actually go back for Blade Mail on this hero. This is one of the best Sanch and Yasha heroes in the game, so you don't get kited. And then from there, honestly, there's so many different items you can buy. Something I saw recently that looked really great was after like the Radiance and SNY and such, I actually saw Collapse do this. He bought a Bloodthorn. And it works with the skeletons, right? It's just a lot of damage. The hero also kind of likes the mana pool. He likes the attack speed. So this is a great item, right? You're a Blink Orchid. So I love the Blink Bloodthorn on this hero later on. Okay, getting into the second hero, we have Medusa. Medusa is a hero that's honestly a little bit boring for me to talk about. I'm not going to lie. The only reason why I say that is I don't think the version of Medusa that is high win rate right now is the fun version. The fun version of Medusa is taking Undulation, that facet that makes your movement speed capped at 310, unable to be affected up or down, right? So you cannot buy boots and you cannot be slowed. And what I like is going Ags Mjolnir. However, this build does not seem to be what is cooking. Far more what is still the strong facet, even after getting nerfed time and time again. I still have to put it on the list of heroes to recommend because Venomous Volley Medusa conceptually just scales too well. Also, from what I was told, it still works with the Mantas, And so into the late game, this hero is it's just a menace. And so yeah, it's just kind of the carry hero of the patch. Number 1 is absolutely Wraith King, and number 2 is Medusa. In terms of items, when you buy this Venomous Volley, you should start the game with Wand 3 branches. You should buy, if the lane is a bit harder, you should be buying Mangoes and a Null Talisman. Bassi is okay, but I actually think Null is just way better as an item. After that, you buy Treads, then you buy a Manta. After Manta, you can go a lot of different routes. If you want to fight in the early game, you can go Dragonlance, or you can go Diffusal Blade. If you just want to scale, you can go straight into Scotty. And this is another reason the hero is way better now. Scotty is absolutely way better now. The reason why? They made the item much, much, much better against melee heroes. If you're against a melee hero that does not buy BKB, which is really common in this patch due to the fact that SNY is just so good, if you have a Scotty, it is 2 times as good in terms of slow against melee heroes, which makes a world of difference for this hero. It makes a world of difference. And so, unfortunately, in terms of scaling carries, I think Wraith King's pretty interesting in this patch because of the Bone Guard buffs, but Medusa is just her old self. Just have to kind of put her here. If you want maybe a more interesting hero, Meepo Codependent got nerfed this recent patch, and yet it is still one of the highest win rate facets in the game. Okay, getting into the mid heroes, first off, we have OD, who has made a big rise in the pro scene lately. Finally, after being high win rate in average pubs for a long time, the hero is actually getting the respect it deserves and is being played in the pro scene. Plus, I don't think there's actually that many good mid heroes, and so Odie kind of just happens to be the one. But let's talk about why he's good. I think the main reason he's just a good pub hero is number 1, the hero is actually reasonably easy to play. So if you're kind of new to mid, or you just want a hero to try that you're gonna like win quickly on, yeah, Odie's a good option. You just have to learn positioning on the hero in team fights. And then on top of that, he's actually been buffed recently. One of the main things that they did is they made his facet Obsidian Decimator much better. This is the facet where when Odie procs his Essence Flux, his ability where you get mana when you cast an ability, it gives you max mana. Now, why is max mana important on Odie? Max mana is important on Odie because it's what deals damage. Your ultimate does damage based on max mana differential. It also works with your Q. Your Q does damage based on your max mana. And so this facet literally just gives you damage, and it was buffed from 4% to 5%. So yeah, this is better. He also got some pretty interesting changes on his talents recently. One notably is he lost 200 health, which seems like a big deal and like a big nerf perhaps, but it was actually replaced with 100 Astral Imprisonment cast range. And to me, this is a really nice facet so that you can actually build up your max mana stats. When you Astral people, you steal their mana, right? You steal their mana. That gives you damage, and it allows you to do it from a safe position, which actually might be better than 200 health in the early game. And so the build that most people are going just revolves around Null Talismans, because Null Talismans give you max mana. So I'm looking at a Quinn build here, a CCNC build. He bought 2 Null Talismans for his starting item build. You have to buy a lot of Tangos. This is not a bottle hero, even though I don't think it's like the worst bottle hero. You generally don't need the mana because of your E, so most people don't buy it. You buy 2 Nulls, as many Tangos as you need, sometimes even a South. You can buy 1 on this hero as well if you're really trying to just like play for CS in the lane. But he didn't. He bought Boots. After Boots, he bought Treads. Then he completed his wand. You do want a lot of stats on this hero. Talking about stats or HP. He bought a Fluffy Hat after that. Then, after that, he bought a 4-staff. A lot of people will grade out on this hero. What I mean by that is they'll buy something like a Midas. And the reason why I don't love that is it really limits your ability to fight. As a mid laner, you have most of the levels, so you're going to be fight ready. And so I like 4-staff just so you have the capability to do that. I don't think Midas is bad. The other item that I do like on this hero is a Witchblade Rush. I think the slow allows you to really just get in those auto attacks, those Q hits. And so that's nice as well. That's an option. But he went for 4-staff. I think Midas or 4-staff is fine. I prefer 4-staff. After that, he bought really just straight Pike. And the reason why Pike is good on Odie is the same reason it's good on Edge. You Pike the person, it keeps you alive, it's good stats, and then you get to hit them 5 times. After that, he bought a Witchblade, kind of what I was talking about earlier, mana pool, armor, the slow is great, then he bought a BKB, and this is the way to go. I think complicating the item build on this hero and buying like some Ags instead of BKB, in most games this is trash. Okay, getting into the next mid hero, a lot more basic and I spend a lot less time, it's Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit does not have some insane win rate. However, I think in terms of mid heroes that just kind of play tempo, he's probably the main hero that I like. I really believe in Storm Spirit. I think Kaya is in a good place. I think Witchblade is honestly one of my favorite early tempo items in the game. This item just gives so much damage, just like flat damage. And then the slow just allows you to really stick on top of people and allow your team to close the gap. So love Witchblade Storm. I love Kaya Storm. I think Orchid Storm is fine. I also think in terms of wombo combos in Dota, Caudal Storm is some of the most BS things in the game. It is insane. If you haven't seen it or try it, highly recommend Recall Caudal with Storm. Goofy stuff. So yeah, in terms of like the mid heroes that are going to play tempo and enable greedier side laners, I wouldn't say Storm is like some Ember where he's online at level 7 and just kind of ready to fight off cooldown. It's a little bit more greedy than that, but still, you know, compared to something like an Odie that's just going to sit mid for forever and farm it up, Storm is a great hero to just play the game and get active and then scale. The hero just, it's pretty basic. You just buy like Kaya-san, BKB, Witchblade, and then like Shiva's Ags, right? Scale into the game. Okay, getting to offlaners. So I have two that I'm actually excited to talk about. I'm going to start with the one that is very, very baseline. In terms of win rates, guys, I've been saying this for forever. Venge is just a good core. I think Venge is also just a solid support in average MMR, but I truly believe in Venge core because of the Axe timing. It's just one of the best early game timings in Dota. I think it's the case for the pro scene as well. The reason why it's not too popular is the hero is just kind of punishable in the early game. I really do believe that's the main issue. It can just be kind of chain gang. But if that doesn't happen, which won't happen in your typical game, then you just kind of get away with buying an Axe on this hero. And then it just has useful spells. It's just one of those heroes, kind of like Wraith King or Abaddon, where it just has these nice spells. A stun, armor reduction, damage amp, you know, considering your teammates are probably just going to buy 5 damage items, damage amp. And then swap is a really great ability, especially once you have Ags and you can kind of swap without that fear of dying afterwards. So in terms of item builds for the laning stage, it's just going to be a wand, 3 branches, tangos into boots if you need to play defensive. If you're against something like Monkey King or Slark, you can buy boots. The lane is a lot easier against like a Spectre. You can buy Wraithband, Bracer. After that, just going straight for the Ags. After Ags, honestly, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can play utility, buy something like an Aether Lens, buy something like Vlad's, which actually works after your thing ends. You can buy your Shard, which allows your stun to bounce, and you can play utility. Or you can just buy a Yasha, right? Buy a Manta Style. You can buy a Dragonlance, kind of just play to have that HP. Buy a Hurricane Pike, be just super, super tanky. Something that I think is very strong is going like Manta into Butterfly. Typically, you have to buy a BKB on most heroes. You don't really have to do that on Venge. It's not that it's terrible, you just don't have to. So you can go something like Ags, Manta, Butterfly, you're going to hit nasty hard, and this hero's scaling and her talents is incredible. But alright, let's get to the more fun offlane build, which is Ags on Dawnbreaker. Ags Dawnbreaker is something that I thought was going to be terrible when I first read it in this patch, but after seeing it multiple times, I'm actually very impressed with how this hero looks and how it seems to function. On top of that, on the website Nix, which tracks the win rates of different facets, funny enough, Dawnbreaker's Trailblazer is one of the highest win rate facets in the game, which to me is really impressive. Now, to be fair, not only is Trailblazer high win rate, not that far below it, but actually a decent amount below it, is Star Surge. And then the most popular pro facet, which is Solar Charge, is the lowest win rate for pubs. So, funny enough, the facet Trailblazer, which if you don't know what it does, it makes it where when you walk along Celestial Hammer, it gives bonus movement speed. And this is obviously cool because it works on allies, right? And it's this huge movement speed increase of up to 25%. Bonus movement speed. Like, that's kind of a crazy number, right, guys? 25% movement speed. So in terms of just chasing kills, it is that good of a mid-game spell. And the reason why I can really see the potential here, and I think it's something that more players should look into, is you want to play Dawnbreaker as a utility hero. A lot of players view this hero as a carry. I don't think it's bad. I think if you want to play this hero as a carry, you should take Star Surge, which gives Dawnbreaker attack speed, or Solar Charge, which gives her cooldown reduction. And you can try to buy things like Harpoon, Deso, Shard, eventually Abyssal, a Blink Dagger, like these kind of a BKB, SNY, like these carry items. However, I think the best build on the hero by far can be with any of the facets, but this Trailblazer is certainly interesting, is the Ags. So Ags on Dawn no longer gives that 60% evasion that it used to, which was the main selling point. Now it makes it where you basically instantly come down. So you go up and you come down. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound that good, right? Wouldn't you want to be in the air, be invulnerable? Not really, actually. This is a hero where if you get to go up and then come down immediately, you're in the fight. You get to click your blade mail, you get to cast your spells, and it's also really easy to chain stun. On top of that, after you come down from your chain stun, which you will probably be chain stunning, that is the main use case, you're going to come down and you're healing. So you get these pulses for 3 seconds. You're doing you're doing 115 heal pulses. So it's just great. The build on this hero, in my opinion, is going to be a Bracer, Stick, Phase Boots, Soul Ring, Blade Mail, Axe. After that, it's just kind of whatever's good for the game, honestly. There's a lot of things you can buy after the Axe. You can try to scale. You can buy, as I was saying, Harpoon is an item I'm a fan of, so you can stick on top of people. You can buy an SMY, you can buy a BKB if you need it. You can buy a Deso with Shard if you're really feeling psychotic. However, I actually think something like Pipe, Holy Locket, Shivas, any of these utility items, whatever's good for the game, right? Crimson is a great idea. You don't have to scale on this hero. The Axe is kind of just that good. And if you take the Trailblazer Facet or even Star Surge, which gives nearby allies attack speed, you can just be a utility hero. I think Solar Charge is actually the most greedy of the facets, which is why I kind of like it the least, and the win rates sort of show that. Okay, getting into the Pause 4s. A bit boring because these heroes actually haven't really been buffed, but I just want to talk about an item, the Pause 4 item of the patch in my opinion. So I've been harping on how good I think Vessel is for a while now. I kind of got off it for a bit as it was less popular than I thought, but I'll kind of like double down on this a bit. I do believe Vessel is a great Dota item. The reason why, first off, is build up. The item builds from Urn and great other stat items. Whenever an item has good build up, it just makes the item way better. You get efficiency from the item before it's even completed. Then they just buffed it again. So in the past, they made it where if you have 0 charges of the item and you die, you get a charge. This is great because now it kind of cuts out that variance where you're playing support, you die early in the fight. Now, oh, I'm dead, my teammates get a kill, I don't get the charges. Now I have this 3k gold item and I can't even really get use out of it. That won't happen. That's great. It just cuts out a lot of variance in the item. And now they made it where instead of a 60% heal reduction, it's 70. And there's a lot of healing in Dota. Like, there is just a lot of healing in Dota in its current state. I really feel that way. There's just a lot of healing, especially with heroes that I play. Like, I love playing Chen, Tinker, stuff like that. There's a lot of healing. And the item is a 70% reduction. I mean, this number is just, even if there is no healing on the enemy team, just reducing HP regen of a hero is going to do some nasty amount of damage. Like, if you just think about it that way, like, clicking a Vessel on someone just griefs their HP regen. And also, the actually bigger use case on heroes that don't heal is just reducing Magic Wand. People are good enough at this point in Dota where almost everyone buys Wand, most games. And so, you just make Wand a shit item. It really just doesn't do that much. And Lotuses as well. Like, I played a game recently, I'm Vesseled. I'm like, I have a Lotus, I'll just save myself. Shit healed me for like 3. It doesn't do anything. And so I think some of the best Vessel users in the game right now are Bounty Hunter, which is one you can just kind of pick up and play. The second one is Clockwork. I think this hero isn't that good in the high level because they made it where Battery Assault doesn't make you kill creeps faster. And I actually think like the better you get, the more important that is. But like in general, this is just a really, really solid control hero. It's quite a good laner. It can play very fast. It scales fine. It gives vision. You know, Clock is just like a nice Dota hero. It just does a lot of really nice things. It rounds out most drafts. And then the other hero that I super love is Phoenix with Vessel. I think this hero with a Vessel is just like, it just feels nasty. I think either Facet, Dying Light, or Hotspot are great. Dying Light makes it where when you're low HP, you burn people around you, and Hotspot makes it where Sunray is just like the best spell in the game. But yeah, I just like Vessel Phoenix is just insane. Like in the early game, you have this nasty amount of damage, right? You just do some insane amount of damage with your birds, right? Your W and Vessel. And then scaling to the game, you just have Sunray and your Shard. And if you want to pick up Phoenix, all you need to understand about this hero is that you farm faster than most heroes in the game. You push waves and farm at level 7, even level 5, but especially level 7. Then when you have maxed out Sunray, you're like one of the best team fighters in the game. If you know how to use Sunray, you just got to learn it a little bit. And then if you buy your Shard, you get to use Sunray during Egg. And so you actually just use Egg early in the fight. You bait people to come kill it because you use it pretty defensively. Like let's say your team is here. You use that shit like almost behind them. You don't dive in an Egg like noobs do. You just kind of plop down an Egg, click a Sunray. The enemy team is like, shit, we're dying to Sunray. Do we go hit the Egg? Do we not? It creates a lot of confusion. And most importantly, when the Sunray ends, you just get another Sunray. I'm not kidding. That is like actually the most important part of the Shard. Well, there's 2 reasons. It's that, and you can't interrupt the Sunray. Like unironically, the biggest issue of using Sunray is the fact that like you're channeling something, you might get gone up. You might get stunned. You can't get stunned if you're Egg. You can't get silenced. And so, yeah, it's just OP. So Vessel Phoenix, Vessel Clock, and Vessel Bounty is what I recommend for Pause 4. Okay, Pause 5, pretty easy for me. This is my role. I think the easiest heroes in the game right now are probably well, actually the main one's probably Jakiro, but I didn't put him here. I don't think he's OP anymore. I think the best heroes in the game are just like the easiest and highest impact as the game progresses is just Warlock and AA. Like, to me, these two are almost a no-brainer. I don't think there's that much contest, in my opinion, for just, like, how consistent these heroes are. They have insane damage, insane scaling, and great team fight. And this is very important for me. The only reason I actually personally like Warlock a bit more is the how reliable he is in the lane, if you know what you're doing. AA's laning is not the best. However, AA's mid game probably is the best amongst all supports in Dota. His scaling is just unbelievable. The kill potential that he consistently gives you is insane. Both of his facets, Bone Chill and Exposure, are great. Bone Chill makes it where AA's abilities reduce the enemy's strength, so your Q and your W just make people die insanely fast. So does your ult, it also reduces strength. They buffed AA's E recently. Funny enough, they actually nerfed it in the most recent patch, but they nerfed him so barely that it just does not matter. This hero is still... It got nerfed. Like, so yeah, AA's mid game and late game is fantastic. Warlock to me is a bit more of an early game hero. Not that it scales that bad. The big thing about Warlock, for my gameplay, personally, what I love about the hero is I have a very strong lane, and then I get to use the Black Grimoire item to get an early ult, and I use that early ult to take early towers. So I'm very intentional about it. To me, it's like a very high MMR mindset where like your spells kind of enable objectives rather than just like winning some fight. And that's why I love that hero. Right, it just kind of allows you to like really have a game plan, a strong game plan around objectives. However, what's just great about Warlock in general is how good his spells are. Your W is not only a heal, but a damage spell. And if used properly, when the heal is used as not only a damage on the enemy or heal on an ally, it's used as both. For instance, it's put on a PA who's gonna jump. This is a very popular combo. Or a Storm. I've played this one a lot. I put it on my Storm, it's healing him when he's going in, it's dealing damage. Right? Insanely strong. Fatal Bonds. Very straightforward. It does a bunch of damage. It's a team fight spell. Upheaval. I have really started to love Upheaval. At first, I was a hater. I'm like, this spell is shit. I barely use it. Now, I actually put a major priority. And what I'm doing is I'm going by Mana Boots, I'm going by Wand. I'll typically buy like a Glimmer or Solar. Then I'm buying an Aether every game. And I won't stray from this because frankly, the heal cast range sucks. Fatal Bonds isn't bad, but honestly, having a high cast range on Fatal Bonds lets you get better Fatal Bonds. But most importantly, Upheaval cast range is not that good. But because like, if you have just the normal cast range of Upheaval, against good players, they'll usually cancel it because they can kind of see you. But if you have an Aether, you're further enough away where it's just too inconvenient for most team comps to actually try to cancel it. And this spell is just insane. Like, it's just a great ability. It just does a lot. Like, it's this massive zone of you can't go here. And so, yeah, huge believer in both these heroes. They kind of just scale into the game. Very strong early on and very straightforward. And to me, there's a lot of heroes on this list. Good Dota heroes just make the game kind of straightforward. When you play something like a Chen, you just got to be a master of the hero because if you miss a couple of these key important factors of the hero, you're just going to lose. You're going to lose to Warlock. You're not going to out-teamfight the Warlock. You're not going to out-teamfight the AA. It's hard to scale into these heroes. And so, yeah, that's going to be all. Thank you guys for welcoming me back. Hopefully you have all not left and this video does not get 10 views. That would be very sad and depressing. But nah, I mean, I'm genuinely glad to be back. I love talking about Dota. I love teaching Dota. I'm going to be doing some replay analysis soon. I just kind of wanted to get you guys back into the meta, at least based on my opinions. Oh, I wrote on the list Veno Jungle. That shit is still broken, let me tell you. Spread the play, guys. I don't care what anyone says. How can you possibly still not believe in Speed Dota after literally I have shit on pro team after pro team, and literally other pro teams are playing it now? This is literally the Game League difference. Go sub the Game League right now. Click the link in the description down below, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.